What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today on this nice Tuesday here, at least on the East Coast? It's actually pretty nice out. It's been really nice here in Philadelphia. I had a stressed out morning, so the Xbox pre-orders came out today. I'm majority an Xbox person. I have both consoles. I'll probably get both next-gen consoles, but I at least wanted one, right? So I can make videos on it right away. So I missed PS5's launch because I didn't really know the dates or the times, and it came out randomly, and I was driving back to school, so there was no way I was getting any of those pre-orders. Now, today, hopped on, had like a Twitter link of all the different sites that were doing them. 11 o'clock hits. First one that worked was Walmart. Literally had place order at 11:01, sold out. So I'm guessing all the bots got to Walmart. And then I ended up getting it from Ant Online. I spent like $700, and there is mixed reviews. It was a retail link on or from Xbox itself. So I know they're legit, but I've heard some bad reviews about them, so I'm just hoping mine goes fine. And then I tried getting it on Amazon, and then I missed that one, and Best Buy was a mess, and Microsoft again. It was just a stressful morning. So sorry for that long intro. I just wanted to tell you how my day was going. But yeah, we have an article to react to. This one's actually pretty interesting. I'm actually excited to react to this today. Realistic championship windows for the NBA's 10 worst teams from the 2020 season. So this will be interesting because the 10 worst teams, but you have a team like the Pelicans. When's their championship window? 2023, 2024. So it'll be funny if there's like a team like the Knicks at the same time period as the Pelicans, because we obviously can't predict who's going to who at this moment. Like, obviously we think Anthony Edwards is going to go to Minnesota, but is he going to be an elite player right away? Probably not. So we'll just go through this and dissect it. It's by Zach Buckley, Bleacher Report. I will leave a link to this in the description below. So first team is the Atlanta Hawks. He thinks they could be a championship contender by 2023. That would be 3 seasons from now. Okay. You know what? I think I could get behind that. It all depends on how good their 2020 and 2021 draft picks are. They do also have the Thunder pick in 2022, which could be pretty good. You never know. They might be bad. And yeah, we'll see who they add next to Trae Young. Is it going to be Tyrese Haliburton, Adeni Avdija, Isaac Okoro, with Devin Vassell? We don't know. John Collins will be getting paid. And paying John Collins, and then they're going to have to pay Trae Young a year later. Honestly, they're not going to be able to do much in free agency. I think they would be able to get a max slot next year, but they're not going to be able to sign anybody unless they get creative with it, with bringing back John Collins, because they're going to have to pay Trae Young. They're paying Clint Capella at the moment. I think they can squeeze a max contract out in 2021. Yeah, in 2021, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, because Trae, I don't know why I said Luka, will be a restricted free agent in 2022. So you know what, actually, they're fine. Yeah, they could definitely make a free agency splash in 2021, and we'll see if Cam Reddish does anything, or DeAndre Hunter enough to be like a top option on a really good team. So I think 2023 is not crazy. I think that's like the window where they might be like a really good team, like a Philadelphia 76ers good, or a Boston Celtics good, or a Denver Nuggets good. I don't know if it's like an LA Clippers or Milwaukee Bucks good, but you know what I'm getting at. So they have them at 2023. Charlotte at 2025. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to end up with a James Wiseman or LaMelo Ball, which is pretty huge for the city of Charlotte that had kind of a bleak future. They didn't trade away Kemba Walker, which kind of hurt them because they lost him for nothing, or you could say they got Terry Rozier out of him, but you'd rather trade him away. Devontae Graham was a nice young player, but who's really the most promising player on this team? It is probably Devontae Graham. I wouldn't say it's PJ Washington. Definitely not Malik Monk. Terry Rozier, no. Miles Bridges has been pretty inconsistent in his first 2 years. So I think they go LaMelo Ball, and then we'll see if they're bad next year, because I mean, North Carolina is a huge basketball state, mainly for college, so free agents probably won't be going to Charlotte, even though it's definitely nicer than some other cities, even though I've never been there. I do want to see Charlotte, though. I've been to North Carolina, and like the Outer Banks, super nice area, which I think is pretty far from Charlotte, but that's where these players can live. I don't know. 2025, I guess, kind of makes sense. I would maybe push that to like 2026. Maybe 6 years from now. But we'll see who they end up with, either Wiseman or LaMelo Ball. The Bulls for 2023. Okay, so kind of the same year as the Atlanta Hawks. I could get with that. Now, Chicago's probably going to be, them in New York are the biggest free agency destinations on this list. Chicago is probably not going to get an Anthony Davis, but they could definitely lure somebody in 2021 or trade players. They could trade Levine, Carter Jr., and pick 4 for who knows. Imagine they offer Bradley Beal that, or that to the Wizards for Bradley Beal. The Wizards, honestly, would be kind of crazy to turn that down. Levine and Wendell Carter Jr. for Beal. That's actually a great offer, but I don't know if Chicago would do something like that. They do have a nice young core of those 4 players right there, and they obviously have the 4th overall pick in this draft. They're going to have a new head coach. Do we know? We don't know their head coach yet, correct? Wait, no. We don't know their head coach yet. But I think Kenny Atkinson would be perfect for this team, and I think they might have the brightest future out of any team on this list. Well, the Warriors are going to be on here, and their window is going to be like next year. But besides the Warriors, I would say they're like the brightest future here. Like Atlanta's obviously pretty bright, but I would say it's Chicago. Next up, we have the Cavs in 2025. So was that the same year as the Hornets? Yes, it is. Okay, I mean, Sexton could develop into a very nice offensive threat, but he's going to have to do stuff on the defensive defensive side because he's undersized playing the shooting guard position. I mean, he doesn't have to guard shooting guards or twos. He can guard ones. But I don't know. Kevin Porter Jr. was a really good rookie this year. They're going to have to try to get something for Kevin Love. They have the 5th overall pick in this draft, so we'll see if they're going to draft like an Obi Toppin, and Denny Avdija, and Isaac Okoro, maybe a Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know if they would go with another guard, but maybe try to get that small forward so you can have a somewhat respectable rotation next year with Garland, Sexton, say Denny Avdija or somebody like that, and then you have Love and Drummond. I mean, that might win 35 games in the East and contend for the 8 seed due to how bad the East is, but I guess 2025, I mean, they're going to have to bank on one of these draft picks either this year or next year. But they got screwed over 2 years in a row in the lottery, or this might be 3 years actually, 18, 19, and 20. Next up we have is the Detroit Pistons. Indeterminate, so this I guess just means they don't really know, but it's impossible to set a 5-year ceiling for a franchise when no one knows which players will be on the roster that long. Okay, I could see that. I would think Pistons window would be later than Cleveland's or Charlotte's due to their best player being somebody that's 31, 32 years old, coming off a knee injury, an injury-prone player in Blake Griffin. So I would say if you're the Pistons, you trade Derrick Rose in the offseason. Either you call up the Lakers, you call up the Sixers, you call up a team that would give you a first-round pick and maybe a young player that might be asking for too much. I mean, like, not like a crazy good young player, like a KZ Okpala, somebody like that. Like, not exactly trading him to the Heat, but somebody like that. And you get a first-round pick for Derrick Rose. I think you do that. I think you draft Killian Hayes with this team, and you roll into next year with Killian Hayes. You have another first-round pick in this draft if you trade Derrick Rose. You'll have Christian Wood. You bring him back. You'll have Luke Kennard. You'll have Sekou. And then you'll win 20 games next year, 22, 23 games, and then you just get another top pick in the draft and you keep rebuilding. I think their window is got to be later than Charlotte's and Cleveland's due to the talent of their roster. Them not going to have cap space for a little bit, or just because they're playing like a lot of money, but it's not like they're a huge free agency destination. I'm sure Christian Wood will get north of 10 mil this offseason, so yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, I would have just said like 2027 just to put a timetable out there, but it's going to be a while for Pistons, or for the Pistons. I'm sorry, Pistons fans. The future is bleak, folks. Yeah, Warriors next year, that obviously makes sense. They're getting Steph Curry fully healthy. They're getting Klay Thompson fully healthy. They're going to have the number 2 overall pick in the draft. They'll have Wiggins. They'll have Draymond. They'll have Eric Pascal. They'll probably have Kai Bowman, Damian Lee, some sort of cast of those guys. Maybe they'll... Oh, no, they can't go after Iguodala. He's under contract with Miami at least, or he has the team option. But I was like, oh, maybe they go after Iguodala again. But yeah, Marquise Chris, like they'll be good next year. They won't be, I think, 1 or 2 seed good, but they'll be middle of the Western Conference. Can definitely make a run in the playoffs. Obviously, not having KD is gonna hurt them. We'll see what Klay can do off the ACL, but I would bank on them to be a top 5 seed next year. I think around the 4 or 5 seed. I think will be good because I couldn't really see Klay playing back-to-backs next year, and even Curry might want to take some games off. Let Wiggins and the number 2 overall pick play the most minutes, honestly. Next up, we got Minnesota 2022. What? I mean, okay. I thought the Timberwolves were going to be really bad next year if they kind of got screwed in the lottery. And even if they ended up with like an Obi Toppin, I thought, yeah, I can't see this team being good. I don't think they're going to be good next year either. I don't think they're making the playoffs. Unless they get lucky in the lottery next year, I don't think they're going to be like a bottom 3 team. But unless they get lucky in the lottery and jump into the top 3, they're not even going to have their first round pick next year. I mean, they could maybe clear a caps. I mean, no, if they bring back Malik Beasley, they're going to have Culver. And they're paying Russell and Cat so much money. I don't think they will be able to get a max contract in 2021. So who are you adding to this team? I mean, if Anthony Edwards is really good right away, then I think this team could be a playoff team in 2022. But a championship team? What's the title of this article? Championship windows? Yeah, that is a little premature, don't you think? I don't think this team is going to be good next year. I can't see them making the playoffs unless Edwards is really good right away and whoever they take at 16, 17. But 2022, that is way too early. I would say like 2024-ish, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think I would bump. Yeah, I'd probably bump Atlanta to 2024 as well. I think Chicago 2023 is good. I think Chicago has a brighter future than Minnesota, to be honest. I don't know, though. Maybe it just helps that they play in the Eastern Conference. Either way, I think Minnesota, it's a little too early. I would say 2023 at the earliest, but maybe 2024. Okay, so next we got the New York Knicks 2024. I would say, I guess, 2024, 2025, or you can even make an argument for 2026. I mean, wow, 2026 is in 6 years. So maybe 4 years from now is good enough. Maybe I would move Minnesota to 2023 and keep the Knicks at 2024. You can put them at 2025. I mean, they have RJ Barrett, who can still be a really good player in the NBA. He had a solid, inconsistent rookie year, but was on kind of like the worst position in the league. President gets fired, coach gets fired, surrounded by non-shooters, and then interim coach plays veterans and gives veterans the ball more than him. So he was in a horrible position this year. They have Mitchell Robinson. They have maybe one of Frank, Kevin Knox, Damian Dotson will turn into a solid, respectable rotational player on a good team. They have the 8th overall pick. Kind of need to ace that, Knicks. Either it's going to be Killian Hayes, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Vassell, Cole Anthony. They kind of need to ace that. And then they'll have the 27th pick or something like that. They have 2 firsts next year with Dallas and their picks. So mainly, I mean, you could sign a Fred VanVleet, but I don't know if I would do that if I was the Knicks. I would just kind of give RJ a lot of reps next year. Give your 8th overall pick a lot of reps. Give Knox, give Ntilikina, give Mitchell Robinson a lot of reps next year. Hopefully improve on your win total. What? You won 15 games in 2019. You won whatever they won this year, 22, 23, 24, or shortened season. But I think they won 20 plus. And then you try to win almost 30 next year. If you can do that, you still have a lottery pick. And then you try to be a playoff team in 2022. And then maybe you can hit your window in 2024 if you're respectable enough to bring in a free agent. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. New GM or president in Leon Rose and new coach in Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, they could go after Chris Paul. I don't know if I would do that. Kings 2023, I feel like that's really early. Like, who else? Buddy Hield might get traded this offseason. Marvin Bagley has shown nothing to prove that he is a good NBA player or can make a team better because the dude has been injury prone. They have a great point guard. They have a franchise player in De'Aaron Fox. But unless they get an ace with what? The 12th overall pick. I don't know. I just think that's a little too early. I would maybe push that back to 2024, 2025, lump them in with like Charlotte or Cleveland and Knicks and the Hawks, man. I think 2023 might be a little bit too early. I kind of want to see what he has to say about them. I mean, like, yeah, you have Rashawn Holmes. You're going to bring back Bogey, but I don't know if Buddy Hield is going to be there much longer. I think he's a little overhyping the Sacramento Kings. And finally, we have the Washington Wizards 2022. I mean, if Nneka Okongwu or Devin Vassell falls to them at 9, I think that's a really good part of their future. But they're at salary cap hell. Unless John Wall is the John Wall we saw before he got hurt, what championship is this team winning? Because they really aren't going to be able to improve all that much. Yeah, we get to see John Wall and Davis Bertans play. Maybe they can get a Nneka Okongwu. But championship window, I don't think this team makes the conference finals with the current roster they have, and it's not like they're going to be able to make crazy moves when they bring back Bertans, because they're going to be paying Bertans a lot of money, they're going to be paying Bradley Beal a lot of money, and John Wall a lot of money, and then obviously they're going to have Troy Brown Jr. still making a little bit. Hashimura will have to get paid in 2 years, or, well, I guess 3 years, so I apologize for that. And they're going to have their draft pick. I mean, if they're bad next year, and they get another lottery pick, maybe they could do something in 2022, but I think that's early as well. I would say 2023 at the minimum. But I don't think they're going to be a championship team with Wall and Beal, because it's not like they could just get an elite center to play with these guys. But I mean, I guess it is hard to predict that. Like, obviously they might take somebody at 9. They could take, I don't know, Devin Vassell at 9, and he's the next, I don't know, he's the next Gordon Hayward, and he turns around, and then that's such a big part for that team. Like, they really need to ace these draft picks. Every one of these lottery teams really needs to ace their pick if they want to hit these championship windows, in my opinion. Besides Golden State, they're going to be good next year pretty much no matter what. But yeah, that is going to be it for me. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think of what I said and of the article in the comments below. I think Crispy also did this. I think I saw that as well. So shout out to him. But yeah, thank you for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.